Okay, so for this scramble, I would definitely be going with yellow here because this, and this can be made into a 2x3 very easily, and these three literally doesn't move. So yeah, that would be what I would plan in inspection. And yeah, I don't really like, I almost never plan anything beyond my first center because most of the time it's hard and not worth it in my opinion. Okay, so my solution would be like this. And for the final bar, like if I want to solve it in 3 moves at once, I have to do 2 setup moves. So I might do something like this, like whenever I feel like it. Like it doesn't really make a huge difference anyway. Okay, and so I think what I would do is there are 2 possible options. One is solve the middle bar first and then solve this outer bar, or I can also solve these into a 2x2 and make a 2x3 out of these, or I can solve this middle bar first and do an outer bar. Actually, I think this one is the best, or maybe this one is the best because it gets rid of the piece in the back. But obviously I won't be able to think that far in real solve, so I think I'll go with the initial one that I thought of, which is solve this first and do the bar, and the final bar setup move like this. And while doing the last moves of my second center, I always make sure myself to start look for my first cross edges, and it's obviously gonna be these. Well, there's a solved edge here actually, but not usable. Okay, so there will be break up into a position which would be impossible to be paired up again in one move. So I do the center and move them both to the M layer, and at the same time I look for the third edge, which is like very easy to see. Okay, and at this point I think what I would see is these two and this single edge, and obviously I'm gonna go with these two, and the third one is right here. And not sure if I'll be able to see this, but after inserting this edge, this would be moved to the M layer, but there's not really much to work with here anyway, so I'll probably rotate and see. Yeah, I would probably see these three. Okay, and my final cross edge, I will do these two first, like this, and my final one I'll have to do a like all the way to the other half of the cube and solve them. Okay, and at this point, what I do after this is I always try to make a 1x3 bar or a 2x3 block if possible. And in this case, I think I can do a T into a 2x3 quite easily with stuff from these two sides. And in particular, first of all, I'm gonna put this to the bottom layer so that it doesn't get affected. And I put this up here while maintaining this corner center here. And as you can see, I can solve these two and solve the left pair in 3 moves. Yeah, and I put my block that I just made on the right hand side and put my edge right beside it so that it doesn't get affected. Okay, next. Yeah, I'll probably line these two up first. And in order to do this without regripping, I will probably solve them first. Well, I still have to regrip, but it's a lot more smoother than pairing all try to pair 3 at once, I guess. So like this. And so my habit while solving the centers is that I almost always try to look for or try to solve the center right downward to the last center. So I'll try to solve red here. And for this case, I would make a T shape with this and these. And I don't want to break up this pair, so I'll try to find the single plus center, and maybe I should do this. Well, it doesn't make a huge difference, I guess. So what I would do, like in real solve, probably would be something like this, and then the final bar cancel into it, and I push this layer with my ring finger. Okay. And for this case, this is not a very good case, but well, not good, but takes quite a bit of moves, I think. So I'll try to solve the orange center here by pairing these two up first, right here, and insert it into here to make a 2x3, and it would make this kind of like the fork. I don't know how you call it, but it makes this shape and it's straightforward. Okay. And I solve my cross, and I will definitely see these because they literally appeared right in front of me. So I try to look for my midge, and at this point I'll probably already be able to think of how would I want to solve my second edge, which is obviously these three. Yeah. Oh yeah, and one advantage or disadvantage you could say of mine is that for edges that have white or yellow on it, it's very easy for me to recognize the EO of it, because I always try to look at yellow or white. So like without like thinking that much, I already know how to put this into the E layer by looking at the direction of the yellow color. But for other edges, like the 4 edges without white or yellow, it usually takes a bit more time for me to recognize the EO or even finding them in the first place. So yeah, it's probably one of the things I have to work on. Like I should be able to recognize every edges equally, not just white and yellow first. But anyway, I know how to put them in like this. And actually right here, the only thing I notable I think I see here is these two flipped pairs. And like recently what I try to do here is I would put them both into the E layer together and do a double flip thing to make 2 pairs at once. And I'm not really sure if this is good or not, but I mean it feels efficient, like you're solving 2 pairs with 1 flip at once. So I'm gonna do that. And feel free to leave your opinion about this way of solving 2 pairs at once. I'm curious. Okay, so solving these, and obviously I'm gonna try to solve one of these 2 pairs first, and coincidentally, yeah, very lucky that this edge appeared here, and this as well. So I think what how I'm gonna solve these two is solve this the normal way and do a almost like a 3DW like this, like regrouping with my almost like regrouping with my left hand and RUGen insert to solve them, and all four done. And okay, so I might be able to see that I'll be having a pair right here at this point in a time solve if my look ahead that day is good. But anyway, so in the O4E I always try to look for stuff or pairs that can be used, and in this case there's only one. So but a pair is a pair, so if I see any pairs, either like this kind of pair or this kind of pair, if I see them, I do the trigger to solve them the Yao 5 way, and if I don't see anything, I do this to make pairs, or I do some other I try to find other stuff basically. Like for example, if like imagine this pair doesn't exist, I will try to find if there are edges that can be paired off with two moves. For example, the yellow orange edge here, I can move one edge out and then solve it the reduction way. I try to see if there are already easy cases like that pre-made, but I don't have to worry about that right here because I have a pair. So, and I will do a flip here and do the rest in the cycle fashion. I don't know how to call it, but okay, I solved this and I solved these two, so they're gonna be my go-to here. And while doing all these moves, I'll probably be able to see the third edge for this very easily. And while also doing my next moves, so first of all, I know that there's a flip pair here. So if while doing the D prime back later, if my second pair is also flipped, that means I'll be having parity, and I'll probably be able to know this while doing the moves. And do the parity out. And 3x3. These two first and these two next. And probably these two. I'm not really sure what I will see first.